Zach Lavine made a showing in the ESPN Top 100 list, and he was ranked 56 in a list. And as a Bulls fan, I just want to get your perspective on it, because I know you're a Bulls fan. I'm not sure how much of a fan you are of Zach Lavine, but these are the guys that are ranked ahead of Lavine: Lonzo, Sabonis, Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Victor Oladipo, Fred VanVleet, Marcus Smart, Kyle Lowry.
That's literally all I need to hear.
CJ McCollum, Christian Wood, and Gordon Hayward.
Let me start with the Nets, because I heard 2 Nets players on that team. And I'm a Bulls fan, yes. I like Zach Lavine. I think Zach Lavine is a good player. I think he can be the third best player in the championship team. I like him as our star for right now. He's better than everybody on the Nets not named Kyrie and Kevin Durant. I think that. I hope other smart people think that. I think he's better than Spencer Dinwiddie. I think he's better than Karis LeVert. He's better than Marcus Morris. I don't even know how Marcus Morris was ranked that high.
It was Marcus Smart.
Oh, Marcus Smart. If they're weighing defense that highly, I can see it. But I just think I think Zach Lavine is a top 40 player in the NBA. I think his numbers show it. I think even with a bad coach, you've seen he can still dominate a game. He's also pretty clutch. I think he can shoot the ball at a high clip. He can be a number 1 or 2 scorer on a team, on a playoff team. He's improved his playmaking, his defense. He's starting to show more effort. So I think if you watch, I know it's hard to watch Bulls games because we suck, but if you watch Zach Lavine play, you can see the improvement in his game, and you could definitely see that. I mean, they had CJ ranked where?
I don't know where he was ranked, but he was ranked ahead of him.
Yes, and I feel like CJ and Zach. I think Zach is better than CJ right now. I think CJ just gets a lot of love because he's Dame's sidekick, but I think Zach right now is better than CJ, and I think the disrespect is just because we aren't winning, honestly.
Zach Lavine, each year he's been in the NBA, he's gotten better. He's averaged 20 points per game the last 2 seasons. He averaged 25 this year. I mean, this past season, which is the most since Michael Jordan was there. And I'm not trying to compare him at all, but I'm just saying, like, Zach Lavine's doing some pretty good stuff. Because the Bulls aren't on national television, nobody sees them.
Yeah, we suck.
Nobody knows how good he is. And he's a guy, like you said, he can shoot the ball. He's very good coming off of screens. He can cut to the basket. He knows when to cut. He's great. He's a great ball handler. He's great at driving to the basket. He's a pretty good playmaker. Like, I think people really sleep on how good Zach Lavine is, because he's kind of gotten this title over his head that he's just a dunker, because that's what people originally known him for.
That's why he stopped going in the dunk contest.
People think he's just a dunker, but there's so much to his game. Yes, he has that explosiveness, but there's so much to his game. And the problem in Chicago has always been the coaching. You had Jim Boylan this past season. Then you had Fred Hoiberg the past couple of seasons. Now, hopefully, Billy Donovan can bring a spark into Chicago and be a good coach. But, who knows? Because I don't think people were that much of a fan of Billy Donovan when it was that KD and Westbrook duo. And then this past season with Chris Paul, he was more of the on-court coach. So you're not, like, Billy Donovan was never tasked to be with a young team and develop players that need developing.
I think the coaching was spot on. I feel like the front office needs some blame too. Their drafting has been terrible. We haven't drafted. Kobe White has been our best draftee. We drafted Chandler Hutchinson. He's terrible. We drafted Denzel Valentine. You know what he is. I don't need to explain to you what he is. We drafted guys like Christian Felicio. You probably don't even know who that is.
I do.
Oh, he's not good. So our front office definitely needs some play for this. They're terrible. But Zach Lavine, what people forget, he's also still really young. He's still a young player. I think he's like 25. So he's younger than CJ. He's younger than Bradley Beal. So he has time to really grow and improve as a player. And I think when you look at it, he can do, from a scoring mentality, he can do everything. He doesn't really have a weakness in his game. He can come off, like you said, he could come off the screen. He could shoot that. He can shoot from deep. He's a clutch player. He can dribble. He can get to the rack. He can finish. He can do everything. He can shoot free throws. So he has no real weakness. I think on offense, I think the defense has to be better. He has to learn how to become a better leader for our team. So now we just have to see with Billy Donovan, can he be that guy? See, because we got some young guys, Zach, Kobe White, Laurie. So we got some guys. It's just I still think though with that list, it's clear they don't watch players that aren't on national television.
Last year, Lavine was 55th on the list. So he's a
dropped.
ranking below this year, even when he had a better season than last year. I actually managed to read the reason why, because in every ranking, they don't just have the list. They have, like, the reason why.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And the reason why Zach Lavine was ranked at 56 is because he hasn't made the playoffs. That's it. The only reason, pretty much the only reason why he wasn't ranked higher is because he hasn't made the playoffs.
Where was Devin Booker ranked?
But the same can be said for Lonzo. The same can be said for Christian Wood. Like, these guys haven't made the playoffs, and as the main guy, none of these guys have made the playoffs on their team. Maybe outside of Kyle Lowry or Gordon Hayward, you can say they have. But as the main guy, Sabonis has never done it, or you could say he did it with Indiana. But I think Indiana's more of like a well-rounded team. Dinwiddie was never the main guy.
He's a backup point guard. Karras, not the main guy. Karras plays 30 games a year.
Oladipo, Van Vliet, Smart.
Okay, you could say Oladipo, but coming off
of this past season,
he was terrible.
I don't think anybody's projecting Oladipo to go back to his all-star status that he once was at.
ESPN is.
Yeah, obviously. But Billy Donovan, I don't know. He has to find a way because I think this team is talented now. I know Jack picked Lauri Markkanen to win Most Improved Player.
That's a good pick.
Patrick Williams is there now, brings defense, which you guys need. Porter Jr. is not bad. You guys are a 500 team when he's on the court.
Yeah, we actually are.
So you know,
we're a solid team when our starting five plays together. That's the craziest thing. They don't play enough together.
But yeah, if the reason for ranking him that low is because he hasn't made the playoffs, I just don't think that's a valid reason. It just doesn't hold up.
It doesn't make sense because where would Devin Booker be ranked then? He's never made the playoffs. With guys like Christian Wood, like you said, was never a number one option. And then if that's the case, if that's what
but even if for the Devin Booker thing, I think people are because this is off projections. So with Chris Paul and Ayton, they're projecting them to make it. I'm guessing. So
yeah, we can only guess at this point. I mean, I would love to hear what would be. Oh, you should have read PJ Tucker's reasoning. I wanted to know that one. Damn, I'm gonna read it later.
PJ Tucker was 72nd.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that one later. They have it for every 100 player.
They have it for everyone on ESPN Plus, obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that.